Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Booth Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this literally does not work. I appreciate everything that each and every one of you guys have done to help us get to this point. And we are literally only 2 days away. In fact, we're getting close to being under 2 days away from the draft. I can't wait. I am literally been going crazy trying to get this whole place together, and I'm still working. I'm still running cables and hiding wire and everything else because I want this to be special. We're going to have a few special guests up in here, and it's going to be a party. It's going to be different than everything that you get from anywhere else. I hope you at least chime in, check it out, see if you like it, because we will be covering not only the Dallas Cowboys, we'll be following the New York stinking Giant. And I better not hear from that boy, Cop Pizzle. It's your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy, Cop Pizzle. Yeah, Michael's belt. That damn Philly freaking 500. Yeah, I'd fire his ass. That's right, I'd fire his ass. And that, are you ready? Are you ready? Hey, Cowboy fans, are you ready? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Burgundy and gold all day. So we're about to get this thing going, and one of our teams hopefully will be able to get their shit together and be able to make a run for another Vince Lombardi trophy. I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys after all these years. So today, fortunately I have a job and I had to go out, so I couldn't get the whole press conference. I wish I had been here for it, so that way I could, get all that Jerry Jones is talking about. A couple of interesting. Well, let's go to the clip over here actually of Jerry Jones, because Jerry. Jerry is always going to be Jerry. As soon as I can figure out which screen.
I think that we've got a good chance to have a top defensive player, the top, one of the top, be there at 10. And it's, for me, I know from the past that when you start talking about being where there's one of the top, whether it be at a position or whether it be at one side of the ball or the other, that's a lot of action that can happen there. You get a lot of phone calls. If that phone is not ringing, that's them not calling, so to speak, somewhere in there's an old country song. But seriously, that'll start that activity. And so just as far as laying awake at night thinking about what might happen, I find myself thinking about that phone ringing about that time too. And so but that's a consideration. We are well prepared, I'll say that, because Stephen and Coach and everybody has been involved in this process, and so we're very well prepared. I couldn't help, I'm going to allude to just one thing real quick. The question you asked Stephen about does seeing Sean Lee remind you at this time how you're trying to dig into these guys and see what they're about. And boy, Sean Lee, if you recall, had a lot of digging into how he became what he became. And boy, it had an intangible out the intangible going on for him in his deal. But I was noticing reading this morning about Tyron Smith. And the reason Tyron Smith is here is because when he was 9, 10, 11, and 12, he was locked up in buildings in L.A. But now that's the way you did it when you work overnight and when you're cleaning buildings. But he was locked up in those buildings literally. And he would work all night to a reasonable time. And his parents were in the cleaning of the big building business out at that time. And so you were sitting there talking about a potential Rhodes Scholar, you were sitting there talking about qualifications, but there, obviously, physical credibility all over the place with him. He was so proud of his intangible, which was his work ethic and working, and he was proud. His coaches would try to think of excuses for him not to have to go to work because he might not have as much sleep. But he grew up. Well, you talking about a guy's buttons pop off, and he would talk about that work that he did in those buildings up there at that particular time. And that kind of stuff really was impressionable at the time. And so getting to know these guys, getting to look at their unique backgrounds and what have you, to me is actually the most important thing. And I don't know how you spot that one particular. This guy was unique. He's unique. Tyron Smith's unique in terms of how they got here as young guys.
Okay, so thank you very much, Jerry Jones, for that. That tad bit right there. We appreciate that. So with that being said, he's talking about Tyron Smith growing up with his mother or his parents having a cleaning business, and that he would be there busting his ass to help his family and everything else. His high school coaches and things would be like, we need to have an excuse for you to not be there. You know, we want to make sure you're not too worn out from working the family business to be ready to practice and play football. But he took it as a badge of honor of helping his family and stuff. And that goes back to character. And that's one of the things that when you look at a lot of the NFL great players, they do have a lot of character, from a Roger Staubach or a Franco Harris, you know, DeMarcus Ware, and, you know, players that understand their role beyond just let me make a whole bunch of money and see if I can get in the Hall of Fame and get my stats. They understand about community and stuff. So I understand what Jerry Jones is saying there. On other points, Jerry Jones was talking about, you know, basically about Kyle Pitts. You know, you don't ignore a big problem, which we all know is our defense, to, you know, grab just an offensive part. Basically he's saying, you know, I'm not stupid to try and do something, which, you know, could be more bullshit to baffle everybody on what they're really trying to achieve. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. Now, apparently, when you listen to Mike McCarthy and things, as he put it, I thought I had my phone open here. I don't think you ever pass up offensive line, particularly from a depth standpoint, during the draft. Expects the team to draft at least one offensive lineman. Tyler Badish is a top center and currently on the roster, he said. So, you know, he was looking at it from the standpoint of, you know, last year we were going into the season, I think we got Joe Looney at center, we got Lyle Collins, you know, who's, you know, our right tackle, and Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, and, you know, we're good at offensive line, you would think. But from a depth standpoint, thank God that they made that move with the Eagles to trade up to get, you know, Tyler Badish, because, you know, when you see how quickly you can be decimated by injuries, you understand the point that he's making there. Now, on to my quarterback, Dak Prescott. Coach McCarthy said that his quarterback's ankle, he's right where he needs to be at this time. I had a chance to witness him working out Saturday. I was very impressed with his progress he's making, his footwork. He's doing great and normal movements that you like to do. So as far as Dak Prescott, he doesn't foresee any issues there. Now, the final thing that's kind of interesting to me is the Cowboys have not done the fifth-year option on Van Der Esch. And to me, this, if we're trying to read the tea leaves, so to speak, you understand, like the Ravens are planning on exercising Lamar Jackson's fifth-year options while they work on another contract. And if they can't get that contract done, they know they've got another year to get it together. So they're getting that done out of the way. They basically have said, we're going to wait until after the draft to go ahead and revisit that. To me, that says we are looking defense here in the draft, because basically, you know, as they've kind of put it out there that, you know, there should be some good defensive players. And if Micah Parsons, I can't pronounce his last name, is there, Parsons, if Micah Parsons is there, don't be surprised if the Cowboys don't take him and look at that and say, okay, we got Van Der Esch for one more year. We'll see if what he can do, and we can let him walk and not have to pay him another big contract. You know, football is a hard business, but in the end, you can't put your emotions out there. When you make decisions as a team by emotions, then you can't make the hard decisions that you have to make. And one of the things the Cowboys sometimes have done is they've made the wrong decisions out of emotion as opposed to with their head. And the problem with Van Der Esch is, do you want to lock up a long-term contract or basically lock yourself for another year when you're not sure after having a great rookie year but then 2 years of injuries? You know, we've been down that road, and unfortunately when we look at Sean Lee was always been an emotional leader for the team. Sean Lee could have been a Hall of Famer if his body hadn't betrayed him. But in the end, your best ability is your availability, and that's one of the things you have to start looking at. And, of course, money is always in every decision that you make. So we're right there with that. So as far as getting any word, I would say that the Cowboys won't be trading up for Kyle Pitts from what I got from that press conference, that they're definitely looking at trying to take care of the defense and that they're definitely thinking about the offensive line. So as much as we as fans love the sizzle, we love the great, chest pounding, moves that the team may make. Oh, we signed this guy and that, that the excitement, the excitement of having CeeDee Lamb. But sometimes it's drafting a Zach Martin that ends up being the right decisions for the team. And so I had another point in here, and I've literally done forgot. I go with all this stuff without notes. So, I'm getting old and I'm getting forgetful here. But I did have one other point that I did want to talk about, and now I can't remember. So I guess I'll have to do it in another video a little bit later. So hopefully, I'm testing out. Guys, understand we're still working on getting all this together. And now that it's like 82 degrees outside, the AC is kicking on. So hopefully you didn't actually hear it too much with the way the system's going here. But as always, I believe they're looking at wanting to get J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain. And if they're not there, I could see them definitely moving back and trying to get more players. And in the end, that may be the thing that they really need to do. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and end this video. I've got to pull some more wire, and I need to get something to eat because I think I'm getting a little loopy because I haven't eaten yet today. But I will talk to you guys later. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
It's been one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?